And thus, we are now at the cargo hold. Wow, so this is the cargo hold, huh? I'm gonna run down here all aggressive-like, because I can. He's so big! Yes, thank you, Detective Gumshoe. Truly an ace detective, you be. I find it hilarious that, you know, in an investigation spin-off, we're playing as Edgeworth, and Gumshoe's just kind of along for the ride. This should be his job. Oh, poor guy. This plane is a special model. It is both a super large cargo hold and ultra luxurious first-class seating. So is this the real scene of the murder? There's certainly a high probability of that, which is why we are here, correct? Okay, let's get investigating, sir. Let's friggin' go. All right, then. First things first. What say the Detective Gummy? What do you notice about anything? This cargo hold is really big. I can't believe they can fit stuff like that in here. Detective, what are you going on about? We're in the middle of an investigation here. Whoa, stop swallowing on me. Oh, I can't get really into my work without something like this happening first. Well, let's get this show on the road. So which item do you want to start on? In this world, there are those who are masochistic, and then there's Gumshoe. Indeed, I guess. Wait. If he's implying that there are people who are masochist, either he's implying that Gumshoe is beyond that, or that Gumshoe is the only one who isn't a masochist. Either way, that's an interesting statement for Edgeworth to be making. So the flight attendant, Rhoda, she's the killer, isn't she? I don't think we can say for sure yet. But there certainly are a great number of things pointing us in that direction. You mean like how she didn't tell us about her buying her own suitcase? Yes. However, in regard to the key card being stolen, I can't seem to find any evidence that she's lying about that. So that's kind of the long and short of it. First things first, Francisca, what's the haps? Also, yeah, there's the missing suitcase. Wow, there really are a lot of those things. They are just not being sold. You arrived at the scene of the crime before Detective Gumshoe, correct? And you then immediately began to direct the investigation? It seems to me that you were already here at this airport for something besides this murder. Yes, I was. You want to maybe tell us about that a little bit? I've been following a very large and involved government-level international crime. But it's much too large for one person to take on alone. So it was decided that I should form a joint investigation with Interpol. I see. Interpol is involved? It's a top-secret operation, so I really can't tell you any more than I already have. I suppose that's fair. Alright, what have we got going on all over here? Oh, there's a big open thingamadoo. That's interesting. Hey, what's with the suitcase, pal? It's what the victim checked in, sir. So the suitcase belonged to Mr. Hicks. I don't think he'd mind if we took a closer look what with the whole being dead thing he's doing. Nothing out of the ordinary in here, sir, except for, quite frankly, an absurdly large amount of underpants. Wait, a file? And there's a photo of Miss Von Karma in it, sir. Egots! Looks like a profile on Francisca. That's interesting. Why would Mr. Hicks have had a file on her? Well, logically speaking, I feel like I can already do something with this. I believe this guy who died might have been an Interpol agent. That would make some degree of sense, no? I might be jumping the gun here, but I'm gonna do it anyway. Now, why would Mr. Hicks have documented profiling Francisca? Oh, I know. I bet he's a big fan of Miss Von Karma, sir. To be fair, she does deserve having fans. Francisca said that she had come to this airport as part of an Interpol investigation. Oh, maybe Mr. Hicks had heard she was coming here and he followed her. Detective, I think it's more likely that Mr. Hicks was in actuality Interpol agent Hicks. I think Francisca has some explaining to do. Call me, Dizzy Arnaz? I don't know. Either way, that's a reference too old for anybody in my audience to know. Regardless, Lucille Ball! What's up with all this stuff about Hicks, yo? You came to this airport to rendezvous with the victim, didn't you? Nonsense! What are you talking about? We found a profile detailing information about you in the victim's luggage. I suppose it was prepared for him so that he could recognize you when he landed. Which makes him not Mr. Hicks, but rather Interpol agent Mr. Hicks, isn't that correct? I should have known you'd figured it out, Miles. But it looks like they got him to him first. So you really did come here to receive an Interpol agent, then? Yes. Agent Hicks was on the trail of a very large international smuggling ring. Ooh, fancy. He went undercover to investigate this crime, and it was I who put him on this case. I was supposed to receive a call from him on his cell phone once he had landed. I never expected to receive a call about his murder instead. That's really unfortunate. Alright then, what about all this stuff? All sorts of boxes are piled up here. This one says flammable, and this one, it says pharmaceuticals. I was really hoping one would say flammable and the other would say inflammable. What a country. This one says for exorcism use only. Just what kind of operation is this airline running? I don't know. We know about the Fae clan. There's all sorts of stuff that could conceivably be happening. Holy suitcases, Mr. Edgeworth. Hey, props to the 60s Batman reference. I like that. It's like an all-you-can-use suitcase fair. These must all be the leftover ones they couldn't sell. The ones the company is planning to dispose of after the flight is over. This paint job is really cool, don't you think? Practically screams artsy. Well, why not purchase one then? I'm sure it'll bring you much happiness. You think so? Maybe I will. Let's see here. $1,200! I think I'll pass. And Miss Rhoda wonders why they don't sell. You need 2 jobs just to buy one. So this suitcase costs $1,200 and she buys one every single flight? How much money does this woman have? Definitely looks like one is missing. What's this brittle substance I'm stepping on? Peanut brittle? It's a bunch of glass fragments. Where are these glass shards from? Ooh! If that's a logic thingy-madoo, I think I might know what that's all about. Hang on. Broken glasses? Glass shards? It would make sense, no? Think about that mess logically, why don't you? I think we can safely conclude that these fragments are from a pair of glasses. And the victim was wearing a pair of broken glasses. Science! Exactly what I was thinking. I'm sure that the shards would match up perfectly with the remnants of his glasses lenses. Ergo, the victim was here just as I suspected. So you're saying that the real scene of the crime was here, sir? Isn't that what I've been saying for a while now? Oh, is it? I didn't know that. Dang it, Gumshoe! Perhaps it's a bit early to draw that conclusion. However, I believe that the probability has just skyrocketed considerably. All that's left is to find the murder weapon. I think we now have pretty definitive evidence that Agent Hicks came down here to the cargo hold. What was he doing down here, sir? There's nothing but luggage. Oh, I get it. Maybe he forgot something in his suitcase and came down to get it. Ow, my everything! Agent Hicks came here for a work-related reason. Of that, I'm sure. Yes, I'm sure he was here to investigate the smuggling operation he was observing. Francisca, do you know exactly how he intended to pursue his investigation? No. Unfortunately, I was going to find out from him after he landed. Fat chance of that, as you might guess. I see. But this raises another question. A normal passenger can't access the cargo hold on their own. Agent Hicks must have identified himself to a member of the crew and entered the cargo hold with that person who let him in. Yes, and then he was murdered here. These glass fragments and his broken glasses are a testament to that. And then the killer put Agent Hicks into one of those spare suitcases and they entered the elevator. But while they were riding it up, shimma-sham, shimma-shake, the plane hit that patch of turbulence. Because of the intense shaking, the suitcase popped open and Agent Hicks's body flew out. At the same time, his wallet fell out of his pocket, spilling its contents everywhere. Which explains why there was money scattered all over the elevator floor. That went rather well. Feel pretty good about that. I think it's pretty easy to say who the culprit is at this stage. What? Really, sir? You say that. I know what you're thinking, Miles Edgeworth. But the killer can be none other than Miss Rhoda. You say that, but now I'm going to have to say that you're a pile of lies! I mean, not lies, just false assumptions! If it was a crew member, any one of them could have shown Agent Hicks to the cargo hold. But the point to keep in mind is the key card that allows the elevator to come down here. The only person with such high-level access is Miss Rhoda. I'd say that's a pretty decisive piece of information, wouldn't you? I mean, yeah, that's probably fair. I know what she's trying to say, but I'm not certain it's as simple as that. Okay, well, I don't see any evidence that's immediately going to be all that helpful, so that means it's time to press some mess. If it was a crew member, yeah, so yeah, let's talk about it. That might be true, but then it could be anyone, including Miss Meal or even the captain. Don't be a fool! Hey, that's the first time she actually said that. A plane without a pilot in the cockpit is like a plane on autopilot, but I see where you're going. A horse without a rider, crop in hand. Much like Scruffy over there. Ow! My everything! Did he just neigh? Can't disagree with her on that. Detective Gumshoe does always need a guiding hand. He's come in handy on occasion. Very well then. What about the other flight attendant, Miss Meal? I thought you might ask about her. Yes. I get that. Let's keep pressing. But it's highly likely the key card was stolen from Miss Rhoda. It's highly likely? Is that possibility the best you can come up with? And you call yourself a disciple of my father. I'm pretty sure Miles goes out of his way to not call himself that, but go off. Ow! God damn it, why? Yes, well, I don't have any evidence. Be quiet, you're a disgrace. There's more evidence pointing to Miss Rhoda, you know. It's not just the key card that gives her away. Are you talking about the murder weapon, the Mr. I-Fly piggy bank? Yes! She's also the only person with a key to open the display case. Unless, you know, again, that turbulence just made it fall out. Also, that's new! Hang on. Further, there is the matter of the key. Okay, hang on. Do I want to press that too? But that is a fake. Stop right there, Miles Edgeworth. You don't have any proof that this is just a red herring. If you must keep on insisting that it's a fake, then what is the real murder weapon and where did it go? Dang, she got me with basic logic. Speechless, I see. That's not a surprise. After all, you know that we've searched the entire cargo hold and came up empty-handed. There must be a way. There must be something that can help me rule out the piggy bank as the murder weapon. One should be examined further to help us ascertain the authenticity of the weapon. Well... yeah, the body makes a lot of sense. Autopsy reports and all that business. Francisca, I think you were too quick to jump to your conclusions. Oh, was I? Yes, we don't even have the autopsy results yet, and they haven't even been updated customarily 4 times. How can I not say that you made a snap judgment when you've yet to even see if the wound on Agent Hicks's head is consistent with the murder weapon? Got you there. Scruffy! I'm not the janitor. Yes, sir. Contact the medical examiner's office at once. I wish to hear the results of Agent Hick's autopsy. Yatanga! Yeah! Yes, sir. Poor Gumshoe. Off he goes! Moments later. We got a big problem, Mr. Edgeworth, sir. Up. I'm back. What is it, detective? They're still doing the autopsy, but they said that they already know this one thing for sure. Report, now. The doc said that it's one giant bruise from a beating from his shoulder down to his mid-back. From the victim's shoulder to his mid-back? He was beaten over such a wide area? Well, I'd say maybe it's a sign that the killer held a grudge against Agent Hicks. It wasn't just his head. The killer went all out and hit him multiple times, sir. Interesting. Well, that don't sound like a piggy bank to me. Scruffy, what is had a grudge against Agent Hicks supposed to mean? Well, that's, was the wound on the victim's head consistent with the murder weapon, detective? Oh, well, they said they were still looking into that, sir. You're completely useless! It's not his fault! He didn't do it. Sir, I told you already, you can't go down there. No, you remove yourself from my way. Oh, it's him. Where's all the racket? My luggage, my cargo, they're mine and I demand you return them to me. Don't make me puff my chest out more, I swear to God. We're still investigating the cargo hold. Please understand and have a little patience. I suppose there is no choice. Finally, I think you get... Hey, what are you? You have left me no choice but to use strong force, sir. You won't get past me. Whoa. This is... Wait, that's it? So that's what this whole thing's been about. Excusez-moi. Further, there is the matter of the key to the displace case that held the murderous bank. I'm gaining logic! After all, you know that we've searched the entire cargo hold and came up empty-handed. Interesting, interesting. The doc said it's one giant bruise from a beating from his shoulder down to his mid-back. Fascinating. Also, is he okay? Okay, alright, okay. So, how exactly would these go? I see. Okay, cause of death. Right, okay. So I can prove that that's not it, because if it's one massive kathonkin, this tiny-ass little piggy bank ain't gonna be nearly enough of evidence for anything to work, yeah? Allegedly, the killer struck the victim many times over, which is why there is extensive bruising over such a wide area. But is that really the correct conclusion to draw from the evidence? The bruise from his shoulder to the middle of his back is one continuous mark, which is more suggestive of a single blow to the back. If that's the case, then the piggy bank is much too small to have caused that. Therefore, the murder weapon must be something far bigger! Okay, so the weapon is larger, but nobody could find anything that could be considered the real weapon in the hold. I see. Well, seeing as how I still need to do logic things, and I don't see smuggling working in any shape, way, or form, then usually large area bruising is a large weapon is used. Okay. I mean, that logically makes the sense in the sense that what else am I supposed to connect? If you're looking for a rather large weapon, you'd think it would stick out. But so far, we haven't found anything that resembles a weapon of any sort. Perhaps, just perhaps, it's something we all overlooked from the very beginning. Like a tumble, like that dude just did, which, by the way, is he okay? Because normally it's too impossibly big to be taken into consideration. Maybe bring this stuff up with the folks? What was that all about? Was he trying to jump his way down here? Francisca! What? What do you want? I found it, Francisca! I found the real murder weapon! You did? He really jumped! Gumshoe is the only one who seems to care. We didn't realize it until now, but the answer's been right in front of us this whole time. He might be hurt. We should go check up on him, sirs. There's that pompous attitude of yours again. Hi, Pot. Want to meet Kettle? You should learn to drop that habit. This coming from a prosecutor with a habit of whipping everyone she comes across. Anyway, if you really are a prosecutor, then you'll back yourself up with evidence. You two aren't listening at all, are you? Come on, then. Show me this real murder weapon you speak of. Well, I can't physically lift it. So, I mean, I think the murder weapon might have been gravity. I don't have any evidence to show you. Foolish reasoning from a foolish fool, from a foolishly foolish fool who meant to fool me. There you go. I was waiting for one of those. What do you mean I don't have any evidence to show? Perhaps I should have phrased it as, that which caused Agent Hicks' death is incorporeal. Forgive me. Incorporeal? Anyway, I know the word. Forgive me, but I do believe I have figured out what the real cause of death. 'Twas straight up a whole-on fall. The victim fell from a great height and subsequently died as a result. In other words, the real cause of death is free falling to the ground. He fell to his death? Yes, this is the only plausible possibility. The victim has extensive bruising on the back of his head and the head and back. Whatever, point is, yeah. And the only rational explanation for these injuries is that he fell to his death. But the murder happened inside this plane. I know. Are you claiming that there is some place in the plane from which he could have fallen from? As I said earlier, the answer has been right in front of us the entire time. You can't mean. Yes, I do. The victim fell from the top of the stairs at this very cargo hold. What? We're in trouble. We may have a second death on our hands, sirs. Are you okay? Hey, you! Tell me you aren't dead, pal. Quiet! Why are you screaming? Oh, yep, he's fine. He's alive! And there you have it, Miles Edgeworth. It's not possible that Agent Hicks fell over the railing to his death. That man is living proof of that. I suppose it's true that it's not possible, given the current circumstances. The current circumstances? What is that supposed to mean? Suppose that large piece of cargo wasn't there at the time. What would have happened then? You would have been a Borgian pancake for sure. I suppose that man over there wouldn't still be breathing, much less screaming all the dang time. But the reality is that the cargo box is there. So there's no point in entertaining your wild hypothetical scenarios. It may be there now, but there's no proof that it was always there. Heck, as if there could have been a window of time when that giant box was not there. Yeah, there was. Wasn't there? Hang on. There was a thing. No. What? Hang on. No, this thingy. Made a brief stop from 4 a.m. to 5 a.m. to transfer cargo and refuel. Maybe the cargo got shuffled about, or maybe it got added there. Long story short, that's possible. Ah, but there was. What? What can I use to show her that okay, there you go. That was possible. The box, yeah, there we go. Hang on. I figured it out.
Take that!
This thingamadoo. You refueled in the Republic of Zengfa? Yes, this flight had a short layover in Zengfa in order to refuel. Well, that wasn't the only reason for the layover. He also transferred some cargo. Go figure, eh? What if the box in question was only transferred onto the plane at that time? To further prove my point, let's take a look at what's next to the box in question. Ah, it's labeled Zengfa Express. I didn't know that part, but okay, correct. Meaning it was loaded onto the plane in Zengfa. Yo, we're making it work. Now, what if the box in question was also loaded on at the same time? It would mean that the box was not here in the cargo hold during the Europe-Zengfa leg of the flight, making a clear drop from which Agent Hicks could have fallen to his death entirely possible. Ah, but your theory is still very far-fetched. Then allow me a chance to prove how very likely my scenario is. My first order of business will be to examine the piece of cargo in more detail. I'm all about that. The investigation is not over. It's merely begun anew. Gummathy, what be your haps? Cause of death, let's talk about it. Man, I can't believe Mr. Hicks fell to his death. I would have guessed in a million years. That is still only a hypothesis. However, the investigation should prove it to be true. Speaking of falling, I'm glad the art guy's okay. He took quite the spill. Yeah, he was lucky to have landed on top of that piece of cargo. Yeah, you can just see it now. Passenger pays price for police foul-up. Did Prosecutor Edgeworth add fuel to the fire of the first murder with a second death? Yep, I'm willing to bet that it'd make the front page. That's not funny, detective. No, but he's also not wrong. That's super possible. Francisca! Say words, lady type. If I may have a word with you, Francisca. I don't think you have the time for idle chatter. I always do if it's with you. You still need to prove to me that your hypothetical situation is in fact reality. Fine, if that's what I gotta do. So, Mr. Hicks was actually Interpol agent. That is so cool! I can't believe it was from Interpol. The adventure, the glamour, the grievous head trauma, and the miraculous big escape when you get caught by the enemy. Except in this case, there was no big escape. And no miracle. But the miracle refused to happen. If you spot anything off, you come and tell me right away, okay, pal? Roger, sir. It's rather unusual for Gumshoe to be so directing. You must outrank this officer. If you run into any trouble, you just leave it up to me, okay? Yes, sir. Watch out, Detective Gumshoe. Ah, my parts! Scruffy! I think your ego is in need of some deflating. No, I'm pretty sure that's you again. I was following in your footsteps, sir. I want to try patronizing my subordinates. Cruel and unforgiving to the detective, even in front of his own subordinate. That's all the Francisca knows. Shame that, shame that. All right, let's take a look-see-loo here. Keeping track of this many pieces of cargo must be very taxing on the cargo crew. This sure brings back memories of when I worked as a part-time mover, sir. By the look in his eyes, he's waiting for me to ask about the rest of the story. But no matter how he pours on the puppy eyes, I have no intention of doing so. He goes back to being sad. Ain't that a shame? All right, so how can I finagle my way to be able to see this? This is a rather large piece of cargo. There's a tag on it, sir. Let's see. Alf, I don't even know. Red statue. Never heard of it. Nor I. But all I care about is if we can prove it wasn't here at the time of the crime. Let's get investigating, sir. Wing-a-ding-a-ling! Oh, he made it through. Good on him. Perseverance. Look here. Do not go about touching my possessions without my permission. Ah! Don't rush up on me like that, pal. So this belongs to Mr. Leblanc, does it? I should see what else I can find out from him. All right, strange man. Look here. Do not glance about wait, why did I say glance? Do not go about touching my possessions without my permission. I suppose I first have to appease Mr. Leblanc if I want to examine this in more detail. How am I supposed to appease him? Oh, I thought I was talking to him and, okay. No, talk. There we go. That's what I thought I was doing. I take it this large piece of cargo belongs to you, Mr. Leblanc? Of course it is mine. I shipped this fine piece of art from Europe. The Alfred statue is worth 10 million cents. No, maybe much more. Mr. LeBlanc's reasons for choosing the plane must have been the large cargo hold. 10 million cents. I suggest you stop trying to calculate how many packets of noodles that makes, Detective. Darn. How did you do that? I feel like you keep getting better and better at seeing right through me every year. Though I grow with each revolution of the planet around the sun, I have the distinct impression he continues to madly spin in place. Hey, Mr. Edgeworth, so that 10 million cents, is that in euros or in dollars? Does it really make a difference to our case? No, but he's curious and he has the right to ask. Mr. LeBlanc, there's a chance that your cargo is related to our murder case. I was wondering if you would allow us to examine it a bit closer. It is a very valuable piece of art, so no, there will be no touching. I see. Okay. Well, I'm gonna go ahead here and put 2 and 2 together and get myself 4. International, is it an international art smuggling ring? Are you smuggling? Is this a thing that's happening? Because only Edgeworth may smug. If Mr. LeBlanc has something to do with the smuggling ring, then it's possible this fake statue was brought on board in Zhengfa. I think I need to question him a bit further. There we go. All right, let's talk about how super duper fake this thing has to be. About your statue, Mr. LeBlanc. I wonder if it might be a fake. How dare you say my art is fake? I suspect that your statue might be the target of an international smuggling ring. Don't say such fantastical things. Those thieves would not dare. I have the certification of my cargo right here. Do you mean the cargo certification document? Mr. Zinc LeBlanc, why didn't you say so earlier? Please show it to us at once. I can't read this. What does it say? It says as plain as day the cargo was put onto the plane in Europe. And there you have it, Miles Edgeworth. Too bad for you. The statue was brought on board in Europe, just as it states in the certificate. No, that's... Which means that there never was a window of time in which the statue was sitting there. Well, that doesn't sound right at all. Then again, if he's the only one who can read it, how can we trust him that he's actually saying what it says? I respectfully disagree. We can't discount the theory until I see the statue for myself. Huh, then you can have your wish. Look at it yourself and see I am right. This... I know I've seen this somewhere before. Yeah, we have. It's in that photo. I missed the click. It's this thingamadoo. Although... if I am meant to figure out whether or not it's a fake or not, the eyes are different color. So that's probably a thing, yeah? This is the Alfred? I mean, I'm just saying, it says red, and I don't see any red. The original had some red. It gives off such a feeling of art. I can practically smell it. It smells like modeling clay. The statue has a high amount of historical value. After it was unveiled at the museum in Europe, I brought it to this country to exhibit it. So you say. I believe a closer look is warranted here. And so we shall take a closer look. So this is the infamous Alif Red statue. I have no idea how to pronounce that, and I apologize. What is it, Mr. Edgeworth? Did you find something? There's something wrong with this picture. We should examine it in more detail. Okay, well, hang on. Yeah. That's got to be something we can inspect, right? What's this? The statue looks like it's stepping all over its neighbor's cloth cover. It kind of resembles its owner's attitude in a sense. Ho ho! You! What did you say now? Further, my clothing hem is not being stepped on by anyone. It is too expensive for me to allow that to happen. Please forgive the trespasses of my subordinates. Why should I forgive the trespasses? Unless it is an expensive dress, you keep it. What? Oh, weird. Could have sworn that would have been something. Alright then. Well, I do believe I've already got something figured out. If I'm supposed to notice something, then you better believe I definitely already noticed something. Let's just... Eureka! All up in this place. These eyes are awfully orange, don't you think? Yeah, and pretty. You remind me of sunsets when I was in grade school, sir. I don't think you see what I'm talking about. How would he? He's never seen the photo that we're holding on to. No, I do, but it's really like the color of the sun when it's setting, sir. Ah, the memories. I remember standing out in that field spinning with my arms out until I felt ill. I don't care about sunsets. Focus, detective. What color are the eyes in this photo? Huh? Ah! Sir, they're red. It's almost like this thing is called a red statue. As I thought. This statue is a fake. Mr. LeBlanc, what do you want? Do you not know I am a busy man with a busy plan? And the faulty stopwatch, as it turns out. I allow you 2 seconds for your answer. The Alfred, I suppose this is your pride and joy, is it not? It is the biggest trophy of this European trip. Do you know why I wanted to possess this statue? The trigger started 17 years ago. Better grab a chair, sir. Sounds like this is going to be a long story. Mr. LeBlanc, I regret to inform you, and you have my heartfelt sympathy, but what is that? Sympathy? For what? You'll see. I'd like you to compare the eyes. The large fellow there has very bright and pretty eyes compared to you. Ha! I wasn't talking about the two of us, although that is nice. It's good to see Gumshoe actually get a compliment. I meant the eyes of the statue in front of us and the ones in this photo. Why the sudden yelling? Now then. Oh. It is a photo of the statue on display at the museum in Europe. No! Now do you see, Mr. LeBlanc? The statue before us is a fake. Oh boy, the windstorm is back. I believe that even further examination will be required. Now that we have confirmed that this is indeed a fake, there must be some sort of proof that this was brought on board in Zengfa, and I will present to you evidence that will resolve the remaining contradiction. Did I believe I did. Like, wasn't, like this. Like, the statue looks like it's stepping all over its neighbor's cloth cover. Kind of resembles its owner attitude in a sense. I can't fast forward, though, so. Further, my clothing is, yeah, okay, it's too expensive. Please forgive the, okay. Anything new? No, yes, what? Okay. Huh. Oh, Riley. Okay. In this spot, someone, yeah. I get it. I forgot that we got a new thing. There we go. Check this mess. There's wait, no? What are you going on about? It's just a simple case of a cargo. The music didn't stop, so I thought I got it wrong. God damn, that made a sinking stomach. It hurt my tum-tum. Just a simple case of a cargo cover getting stuck under another piece of cargo. Ah! That's not possible. But it is. It shouldn't be this way, but the statue is on top of the cloth. Supposing that the neighboring piece of cargo was brought on board in Zengfa, there's no way that any part of it should wind up under something from Europe. I knew it! Which means that this fake statue was smuggled aboard in Zengfa. But then what about the cargo certificate? Let me ask in return, what about Agent Hicks? Why did he come down here in the middle of the flight? There's only one reason why. To secure proof of smuggling activity aboard this flight. Aboard, whatever. So you say, but I don't believe he had to do that mid-flight. We could have just as easily inspected all of the cargo after the plane landed. That may be true. However, you have it backwards, Francisca. Sure, Agent Hicks could have waited until after the plane had landed, but he had a reason for coming down to the cargo hold. Suppose he had found the fake at the airport. It would have been after the swap had occurred. At that time, the suspicion would naturally fall onto the statue's owner, who would have no way to prove that the statue was switched without his knowledge. Which means there is someone involved who is forging or modifying cargo certificates. And who on this plane can speak the language? I think I got it all figured out. I guess the victim knew the real version of this was gonna get nabbed, huh? Yes, while this photo could be seen as nothing more than a simple souvenir, it was in fact taken to be used as a reference document later on. Next, Agent Hicks had to secure proof that the smuggling had taken place. He came down here to take a picture of the cargo hold. A rather empty one at that, right before the fake statue could be loaded on board. A photo of the hold missing a valuable piece of cargo would have been proof enough. After that, all he had to do was hold the Zheng Fa cargo crew and the rest the smuggler. Exactly! This only goes to prove my theory. If the statue was not in the cargo hold during the Europe Zheng Fa leg of the trip, there would have been enough height from which Agent Hicks could have fallen to his death. Officer! Move this statue immediately! I want a thorough examination of the floor underneath. Now! Miss Von Karma, I'm ready to report my findings. Go on. Also, how did he move it? After moving the red statue out of the way, we tested the area under it with luminol, and there was a reaction. That means there was blood! I see. There was a reaction with luminol, an indication that there was blood in that spot. Can we stop looking at it now, sirs? It would seem that my deductions were correct after all. What you gotta say about that? I suppose it would appear that way. The culprit cleaned the blood up well. And how do you think the killer did that? How did the killer clean up all the blood? Oh! I know how! With this thingy-madoo! Take that! The killer used the bloody cloth I found inside the suitcase to clean up the mess. I see. They had a need to clean up all the blood before the plane landed in Zheng Fa. Yes, because otherwise the cargo crew would have discovered it during the layover. So you guys are saying that the murder happened before the plane landed in Zheng Fa? There's no other conceivable timeline in the events of the murder. But if that is true, then that throws a certain person's testimony into doubt. If the murder occurred before we landed in Zheng Fa, then this becomes highly suspect. Gonna go ahead and say this. Recall Miss Meal's testimony about Agent Hicks in regard to when we departed Zheng Fa. I saw Mr. Hicks sitting in his seat at 5 a.m., you know. She claims Agent Hicks was alive at the time of the surface calls, but that totally contradicts the facts, sir. But why would she lie about something like that? Unless she was a murderer! I think the only person who can answer that is Miss Meal herself. To be continued again? My goodness. All right then. It's gonna get good up in here. I'm good for this. Let's roll.